room. I'm boring in my dreams.
Yeah. Just thinking about The Rock hanging out in a hotel. Why was I in a hotel room? I don't know. That's the shittiest part. Why was I in that room?
I don't know.
I don't either.
And you got a few minutes with The Rock. You could pitch anything. You're like, hey, you know Sam? He's like, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
That's a terrible.
So fucking
You're an
annoying.
old man. You're an old man in your dreams.
Yeah, I really am. Complimenting someone's work ethic. But then how fitting, I'm murdered in the room. Men come to kill me.
Yeah. But The Rock's gone by then. Yeah,
he disappeared. And I don't know what the dream meant or why I had it, but I wish I hadn't. And
maybe The Rock left and he just real quick hired a bunch of guys. And it's been there's this boring sap in the hotel room. Would you guys mind going in and shooting him to death?
Well, they were already on their way, and The Rock just wanted to confirm that I did indeed agree you had a good work ethic. Maybe that's what it was. The Rock just wanted to stop off before they murdered me. He wanted to confirm that I did feel that you had a good work ethic. What a shit dream. It was such a worthless dream.
Terrible dream. Yeah. I don't like dreams. I don't remember the last time I had a dream and I woke up feeling good. Because if it's a bad dream, you wake up feeling bad. And if it's a good dream, you wake up like, oh, fuck. I wish I was back. Like that was fun.
Dreaming. Yeah.
In the good dream. I don't want that to be over. And then if it's a nothing dream, you're like, oh, why would I waste my time? I like feeling like I'm in a propofol sleep. I like when you wake up after a deep sleep and it's just, there was nothing between the time that you fell asleep and you woke up. Nothing. And you wake up and you're like, yes, my brain shut off the entire time.
Yeah, I don't get those very often. I just don't get them.
You have an active imagination.
I don't know. I laid there for hours last night. Like probably 2 hours I just laid in bed. Like on my head. Like just trying to, fantasizing about floating in space. Like all these things that will sometimes help me get to sleep.
Yeah.
Didn't work last night.
When I can't sleep, sometimes I start going through wrestling trivia. I start making lists in my head. And to see, but then I end up just like successfully completing the list because I know all the trivia is so good. Like I'll go, I'll go, yes.
And you also created it. So it's hard when you create it to have a list that you don't know the answers to.
Well, I'll go, let's name the WWE champions and we'll start with Bob Backlund. And then I'll go like, well, actually, technically, I know who Bob Backlund won it from. And so I'll kind of start back there. I'll try to start with like Bruno or something like that. But I'll start going through, and I'll usually stop myself at the Attitude Era because that's when they were just changing the title every 2 weeks, and that doesn't matter anymore.
And you can't remember.
But I go from like Bob Backlund to Stone Cold, and then I sit there impressed with myself, and I'm not any more tired. I'm just like, man, that was great. I'm gonna run through that list again.
Sam counts men instead of sheep.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then he counts sheep and push them together. Men behind the sheep, buggering them.
That's right. They're all oiled up and everything. Yeah.
That's
or like I'll be like,
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, let's start going through WrestleMania main events. Let's start going through SummerSlam main events.
Do you know? I've done the same thing with champions. I've thought of chess champions, but there's only a few that go back to the 70s. So it's a stupid thing. It literally would take me a minute or 5 minutes.
There's like 7 of them.
Yes, there's 7 of them.
Yeah.
It's
right.
So stupid.
Right. Yeah, no, don't know. You got to be really tired. I wonder if I could fall asleep within 45 seconds. Let me name the chess champions. Right?
Yeah, can I remember them? And then I'm like, yeah, but so what? Who cares? Doesn't mean anything if you can't.
Right. I feel exactly the same as when I started this process.
Yeah, I'm awake. I don't feel any differently than I did 30 seconds ago. I don't feel any different than I did 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, because you always know when you're like, oh, I might be able to fall asleep when you start losing train of thought. That's why I do those lists. Because if you start to lose your train of thought and you go off on a tangent in your brain, you know what I mean? You start having those almost like waking dreams. That's when you're like, oh, okay, we're on the right road. We're on the road. We're there. We're getting there. But if you're just naming 7 chess champions, I'm assuming
That's
a little tougher to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could name UFC champions in your head.
I've done that too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's funner to count men than it is to count sheep. Because you get to picture them.
Yeah. And the difference is I'm picturing men sitting behind a board in thought. You're picturing men in their tights leaping about.
Yeah, and sometimes I think about their music. Like, that was awesome. Except Bob Backlund didn't have any music, and I'm like, what a boring guy he was.
Oh, he didn't just kind of came out, huh? Like a real wrestler?
No, yeah, he had no music. Yeah, he was just, well, Vince, no, he didn't need any music.
Well, Vince, I just, I know that the thing for me to do is to have to win the match, and I have to do a good job. And yeah, he was a really goody two-shoes.
He was a goody two-shoes. He was, yeah. But he helps me. He helps me a lot. Hey, speaking of people who've been sitting there trying to figure things out, they caught Jam Master Jay's killers. They got him.
2 of them, yeah. One guy
18 years.
He's 36, which means he was 18 when it happened, and the other guy is, I guess 52 is probably an older friend of his. Yeah, they finally got them. They must have known who they were because there were witnesses, and the guy said, "If you tell anybody who I am, I'll kill you." There's no way they were digging for 18 years. Somebody finally just cracked and said something. I'm sure.
Well, it says that they unsealed documents. So I'm assuming that they had these guys for something else. But whatever the indictment that they had them for was sealed. And it must have had details of the case in that sealed document. So once it was unsealed, they were like, oh, we have all this information. We can go arrest them right now for this. It says,
from what I read, they always kind of suspected that it was these two or that these two were involved. But all the witnesses were reluctant to talk, and they had like one statement from somebody, but it was never enough to actually do anything.
So what was it that they finally unsealed that they said, oh, okay, now we can? And who willingly sealed something that would convict somebody of murder?
Tekashi 6ix9ine told on him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was him. What was it?
Yeah, he was 3 years old. He caught him.
Was it circumstantial? Like, oh, they were in this place, and well, I would love to know what was unsealed. If it was,
it was just a big game of gotcha.
Oh, that's great.
It could have been.
Yeah,
it could have been.
We love you, Jam Master Jay. Thanks. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was over drugs, like they always suspected it was. You know,
a real fustercluck.
A real fustercluck.
Yeah, he was selling cocaine between 96 and 2002. They say, like, the indictment alleges that Jam Master Jay was involved in transporting kilogram quantities of cocaine between 1996 and 2002 alongside his music career. I mean, to be fair, they were still doing gigs here and there, and Jam Master Jay was still working with some artists, but I would imagine the majority of his income was coming from the cocaine trade from 1996 to 2002.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder too. Like, so many musicians get so fucked by the deals they sign, where they don't get any type of money. They give away all the rights, or they give away everything. Musicians really get fucked if they don't sign the right deal.
Especially hip hop guys.
I was about to say that. Yeah, early hip hop, they screwed everybody. It's like
Def Jam
like
just
Hesh.
fucked over the Beastie Boys.
Did they really?
I'm
Like
sure.
Hesh.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was going to say like Hesh on The Sopranos, just fucking over all the young black artists, and they're coming back trying to get their money. But yeah, the Beastie Boys got fucked over in the beginning.
Yeah, first album they signed to Def Jam. Russell Simmons, Rick Rubin. They worked the first record, and then after their touring, they literally had nothing left. So I would assume that Run DMC probably signed a similar deal.
Yeah.
All the expenses came out of their touring. For the tour came out of their thing, and the label probably had to recoup everything before they paid them.
Yeah.
If someone's being honest with that, that's fine. But a lot of times, that's how artists will get screwed. If the expenses recouped are not just the expenses recouped, but they're padded, and I think that they fuck
Or
them
like-
out that way.
Or like they're going out to I think all the boy bands would talk about how that's how Lou Pearlman got all of them. Like he would take them out to steak dinners, like giant steak dinners in the most beautiful restaurants, and they wouldn't realize until a year later that they were paying for all those dinners.
Right.
He would act like this is your congratulatory dinner, but all of the super expensive stuff that he was getting for them was coming out of their end anyway. So like they would
That's
show
what
up. I think
McClure does to
Instinct-
us.
Help me
That's
down.
true. That's true. All our royalty checks come through. And McClure's like, who'd you think was paying for that dinner? Jim McClure is the Lou Pearlman of talk radio. He's sitting there trying to line up
In
us,
many ways.
Ellis, Cavino, and Rich. Yeah, he's got us all kind of competing with each other. He knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, they said like he sat in sync down for a steak dinner
Wow,
for
that
the
must have
first
been
big
uncomfortable.
check.
Must have been.
Must have been.
Yeah.
He sat him down at the big dinner for their first to get their first check, and they all opened up their envelopes, and it was like $5,000 or something like that. And they'd been touring, and they had hits, and they were like, "What? Like $5,000?" He was like, "Yeah, I mean, who do you think was paying for everything?" They're like, "Huh? What?" But when you find people, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, can you imagine like building this band, not making any money? You're famous, everything's happening. You sit down, and everybody's like, "Here's your first big check," and it's like $5,000. Like what? What? Why are we doing this?
And you're so desperate at that time in your career. Like when you're young, you want
Yeah.
to just make fucking money. So you'll
Yeah.
sign it like, yeah, someone's giving me a shot, and you know you're afraid to say no because you don't want to piss anybody off. It sucks.
And it's working, and the rest of the yeah, they got him. I mean, that's what they said. Easy and what's his name were doing to the rest of the NWA.
Ice Cube.
Easy and Jerry
Holloway,
Holloway, something like that.
I almost said Jerry Nadler, but that's not him.
Wasn't Jerry Nadler? No. They said Easy and Jerry, what's his name, were going and kind of they were the business minds behind the thing, and they were just figuring out ways to collect all the money for themselves and kind of screw over the other artists. That's why Ice Cube left.
Oh.
Jerry Heller.
Jerry Heller. Yeah. That's why Ice Cube left and performed the song No Vaseline, which he was able to keep all the royalties from.
Jerry got
Also-
fucked
do
there.
well.
Andy got fucked on death row.
He did. He
After
did.
this?
And also he got mock fucked in the song. If you listen to the lyrics, that's what the Vaseline is referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Dre.
Yes, he did.
He gets fucked by Easy, gets fucked by Death Row,
Oh.
and then now his ex-wife is fucking him.
Every time he thinks he's won one, somebody else comes back and has their hands in his pockets. Fuck.
Did it say what
They
she
got me
wants yet
again.
or no? Like,
I think
has
she
that come
prefer-
out yet? Like, what she's asking for besides everything?
Yeah, no. I think my assumption is that her preference is half of it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, she would like half. And Dr. Dre is like, well, we did do this prenup thing, and she was like, no, I don't think so. He's like, oh, no. And then Ice Cube is probably like giving her advice, like, no, you could take it all. You could get all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how much
I mean, look.
she probably wants half.
Yeah, half
Dr.
of
Dre's
what-
wife challenges prenup and $1 billion divorce.
Yeah, well, he's worth like $1 billion, so she probably wants half of it. And here's the thing: to have $500 million is still amazing, except when you used to have a whole billion and now you only have $500 million, and the only difference is you're not married anymore. That stings.
Yeah.
That stings. And you look at you look at people walking down the street wearing Beats by Dre headphones, and you know the right ear is going to your ex. You're only getting the money for the left ear. like, oh,
Like, this sucks. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, I guess that's annoying. That's annoying.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you wonder at
Every
that point, though, like, I'm sure it's annoying, but does it matter? Like, I know people notice, well, what's enough? But when you have that much money, and you know that's not going to change your lifestyle at all. It probably still drives you crazy, but not as crazy as if you might have to move out of your house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those, like, rich people things where it drives you crazy because the number on your ledger is different. But, yeah, no, how could... it wouldn't... $500 million. I don't know how you could...
People do.
I mean, I guess...
Not that much.
People do.
Blow it. Yeah.
People do blow it. That's true. But
It's an ego thing.
it is an ego thing. That's what it is. It's like mentally starts to get you. It's like when Jeff Bezos doesn't want to pay taxes. Like Jeff Bezos' life wouldn't change. He would still have the biggest company in the world if he would pay taxes, but he would prefer not to, because that way he could have some more money.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, that's why
everybody
people are
knows
in the
that your
positions that
ex-wife
they're in.
took you to the cleaners.
That's also, yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that the press is gleefully reporting on every aspect of this.
They are.
People love an expensive divorce.
Oh, especially if it's dragged out. This is one that they can't work out together. There's no way that these two can just kind of sit down and work it out. When you're dealing with $1 billion, no more Mr. Nice Guy. The attorneys are involved. It gets ugly.
Yeah.
And
it goes to court.
It goes to court. We hope we get
the dirty secrets come out.
There you go.
That's what we want, right? Sordid details.
But that's what will stop people from. We'll just settle.
But we want to know that we look at Johnny Depp and we're like, oh, he's got this Hollywood lifestyle. It makes us feel better to know, like, okay, yeah, sure, he gets to be Captain Jack Sparrow, but he's got to go home and his wife is shitting on his sheets. Like, it makes us feel better. That's why we want to know the details. You're like, oh, his life's not so great. He's all strung out on coke while his wife is pinching a loaf on his pillowcase. Like, that doesn't seem that great.
I know that seems, well, for some people, let's be honest, that's real. That's a taste issue.
I guess so. I don't want to judge. Yeah. And people want to see Dr. Dre. Like, they want to see, okay, this guy came from nothing and now he's a billionaire. And they're like, it would be even better to see the billionaire lose half his money in a nasty divorce.
Yeah.
Because then it would let me know that maybe my life isn't so terrible.
Yeah, there is something about watching a guy lose $1 billion. It's interesting in a car wreck kind of way, but it is upsetting. But again, when you're married for that many years, it's really hard for a guy if you have any type of a hole in the prenup. But he was rich when she married him, and this is what you do. You got to make sure it's ironclad. Again, hopefully she went back and changed a couple things in it. But she's saying they ripped it up.
He was rich enough that he should have known a prenup. I mean, he wasn't Dr. Dre 2020 rich when they got married. Not even
but
close.
He got a prenup.
But he's right. But he was rich enough to get a prenup and all that. Yeah, you also wonder what the language of the prenup is, since he made so much money while they were married. Maybe she's like, okay, you can keep whatever you had before. I just want half of what you made after we got married. He was like, well, that's $498 billion of the money.
I wonder if there is there any cheating alleged? Like that one, I wonder if he was fucking around and got caught. I think we talked about this. Did he do something and get caught? And then he's like, all right, I'll rip up the prenup. Like, just don't leave. Like, maybe she was like, the marriage was gonna end if he didn't rip it up and say, fuck this. Like, I love you. I'm not gonna. Or maybe the prenup was terrible. Maybe she signed a shit prenup, like a really bad one, and then whatever happened, and he agreed to rip it up because he's like, we're never going to get divorced.
Yeah, if the prenup was ripped up, I think the only way he would have agreed to rip it up was to save himself from something. It must have been something that she was bothering him for a long time. Like, he knew that was something that bothered her. But, if it's a one-sided prenup, you're not just going to rip it up one day because, well, I'm in love. Let's rip up the prenup because... Theoretically, you're never going to be more in love than you were on your wedding day. Like, that's the happiest day ever. So what's a weird thing? It's like I was talking to a lawyer once. Like you're developing, like you're getting a contract to be combative with somebody who you're currently in love with. It's a weird situation because you're in love with this person and things are great, but you're anticipating that you're going to hate each other's guts. So let's just take that. And a lot of women don't want to sign it, and they make you feel bad about it. Yeah, they do. But anybody using their brains, like everybody who's getting married has been in a relationship before.
Sure.
and they've been in relationships where they're madly in love, and it ends, and you hate the person, you never talk to him again.
Yep.
So you think you're like, I mean, you know what happens. Not to say that it's going to, but you know if things go bad, they don't go kind of bad. They go very bad. It's not, okay, it might go a little wonky. No, it's going to go horrible if it goes bad. So let's protect ourselves. Or in Dr. Dre's case, a lot of headphone money.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's protect that headphone money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what happens. It's also fun to watch because you don't feel that bad. Because even if he does lose half, he's still got $500 million. So it's not like he's going broke.
Yeah, but I just love to know the terms of the first one. I always feel bad when someone gets fucked in a prenup because it's the reason that guys, one of the reasons we don't want to get married is because you get pummeled in a prenup. Like, without a prenup, you get destroyed. Like, no matter how much you earn or how much they take, no matter how much you earn, how much little they earn, you lose half. Like California fucks you really good. They fuck you really
and that's where
good.
a lot of those people are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at poor Paul McCartney. He had to give up Beatles money.
I mean,
He
gave her a baby. She was a baby too. He gave her a baby.
He gave her a baby. He's also the type of businessman that explains to a person how to buy the rights to his own music.
Yeah.
That's actually a great
he
point.
He did instruct Michael Jackson exactly how to get the Beatles catalog, and then Michael Jackson was like, "That's a great idea." Paul was like, "Well, I'd really like to get the Beatles catalog," and Michael was like, "I think I'll take it." Thanks.
What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit.
It was.
All this hero worship
fucking
of Michael
garbage.
Jackson. What a piece of shit.
Yeah. Paul's like, "Oh, did you buy that for me?" And Michael's like, "No." Funny you should ask. No, I did not buy that for you. That must have dread that. That's the type of thing, because that's your art. That's more than headphone money. That's your art. That's the type of thing that drives you crazy, because you know you had that conversation with MJ. You know where he got the idea from.
Sure.
And you're like, why did I open my big fat mouth? And then some lady comes over to you, hopping over to you. She's like, hey, you want to get married and have a kid? You're like, yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, some people are like the most genius musicians of all time and just make bad personal choices in business. You know, I mean,
they do.
And in love.
Seems like he's, it seems like he's done. He didn't get sucked up in like drugs or making horrible investments or anything like that. He trusts people too much. I think Paul's just too nice of a guy.
I don't know if he's a nice guy. I've heard in business that he's a bit of a prick too, which is not surprising.
Well, he's probably a prick now because he was a nice guy before and Michael Jackson bought all his music.
That could have been it too. Yeah, I mean, you may be correct. Sure.
He's sitting there making some of the worst songs he's ever made. Which, again, it's Paul McCartney, so the worst of Paul McCartney is still... But still, if there's one thing that's an embarrassing section of Paul McCartney's career, it's the Michael Jackson era.
Yeah.
And
Say was good. Ebony and Ivory? Wasn't that theirs too or no?
No, that was... was it?
Or was that Stevie Wonder?
Oh, yeah,
that was McCartney and
no,
Jackson.
I was with you, Jim. I think we both think it was Stevie Wonder because of the SNL skits.
Maybe also the fact that it was piano.
Yes. Yeah, but you're sitting there going like, if you're Paul McCartney, right, and you never had the Michael Jackson songs exist,
yeah,
your career would be exactly the same. Like nothing would be taken away if those songs had never happened. The only thing that would have been taken away is you would never have had the conversation with Michael Jackson where you were like, here's how you buy my music.
That's
like
right.
just a pain in the ass. You could have completely averted that pain in the ass by not doing those dopey songs.
And so many guys don't, again, we've talked about this too ad nauseum, but so many guys don't fucking, they don't look after their own money. Like, you got to check your shit, man. Like, just always be, on top of the people that work for you and always look after your stuff and make sure. Because even if they're people that you like, people get ripped off by people that they like. Like, I'd be heartbroken, by the way. I trust my manager, with a lot. I would be heartbroken if someone like that, that's got to suck. We never think of that, like, when all these stories break of people who are ripped off by business managers or people, usually they're people that you really like. And you never think of like how much that must suck to realize.
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
that you go over every conversation. This guy was ripping me off while we were eating dinner. This guy was ripping me off while we were laughing at that wedding that time. Like, it's just gotta.
Yeah.
Like, didn't Billy Joel get fucked by like his brother-in-law or his ex-brother? There was some. I think it was somebody in the family. I don't want to.
When you're that big,
I don't want to paint somebody out to be $1 million thief. If
right.
Nobody knows who that is. I think that was.
Well, didn't Dane Cook get ripped off by his brother?
I want to say it was his half brother. Yeah, the guy went to jail too. I don't know if he's still in jail or he's out by now. I'm sure.
Like, but yeah, I mean, when you're that big, you're gonna make your inner circle small, and the people that handle your money are gonna be in that inner circle. Can you imagine, Jim, how you would feel if you found out that all these years you were such an idiot because it was right there in front of your face? Jonathan had been peeling a little bit off the top and shoving it in the front of his pants this entire time,
and that was what it was. They were just rolls. All those things we thought were his bowls were just rolls of cash and socks. I was wondering where all my socks went. Aha.
Yeah. He's like, Jim, I was hiding it in plain sight.
Yeah. Ah, boy. Okay. Jonathan said, ah, boy. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. I miss Jonathan just walking around and kind of pointing at his bulge. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's all shy.
Yeah.
I literally talked to him more than anybody on earth. I talked to Jonathan more than anyone alive. And
one of my
I would be heartbroken if it was him. If he would be like, fuck, that would be a rough one to recover from. But again, I still check my stuff. You know, I'm careful.
I like when Jonathan gets grossed out over the sordid details of sexual liaisons.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to know.
Speaking of, I mean, when I think about Jonathan, I think about the time I laughed so hard that it hurt. It was literally like my gut hurt. I was keeled over laughing, which doesn't happen naturally in life very often, except when Jonathan is panicking because Chip keeps honking the horn.
No, it was Edgar.
Oh, right. Edgar keeps honking the horn while he's driving.
Yeah. Beep! Beep! And saying beep and pushing the horn. He was very, very flustered.
It's one thing to do it while you're driving. It's another thing to do it while you're at a red light and somebody is crossing in front of you. And so they turn and look at you.
He was very upset. He was
very upset.
Yeah.
However, there is somebody that makes me laugh almost just as much as Edgar and the boys.
That's cool.
Did you watch any of the DNC last night?
I did
Travis
not.
knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah, I did.
I was hoping you saw it.
Yeah. I was watching. It was an awkward show because they did it all from home, so it ended up almost being like a clip show. You know, they did just a whole bunch of pre-taped speeches, but like, you know, obviously Michelle Obama had an excellent speech that left everybody going like, "Oh my God, those Obamas know how to light up a DNC." Let me tell you.
They did, yeah.
Cuomo had a very good speech. You know, very, you know, bashing Trump and talking about how we need a change and Joe Biden's the change and, you know, what you would expect from the DNC. But at one point, they went to Amy Klobuchar, who decided to dust off the old funny bone and start with some material. I mean, okay, look. There is mention of the blizzard, and I was really hoping she was going to go for it.
Oh, she didn't, thank God.
She did not go for the blizzard joke. She did mention that she went through a blizzard, and I was like, here it is. She did. So she said blizzard. And hearing Amy Klobuchar say blizzard again after all these months, I was like, yeah, it's Pavlovian. It's just something. She went, when I walked through that blizzard, I started getting the douche chills all over again. I remember this.
Why is she so dislikable, by the way? She's so hard to listen to. She's so unpleasant to listen to.
She's got this smug smile where she's like, she knows, like, you guys don't want to mess with me. And you're like, you're wrong, Amy. You're exactly who everybody wants to mess with. You were defeated handily. Of course, people want to mess with you. You would be easy to mess with. Like Amy Klobuchar, like the way she carries herself. She carries herself in a way where you're like, I'd be quite a formidable opponent in a debate. It's like, that's not true, Amy. Where's that idea coming from?
Right.
It's
You're
not
not
true.
a formidable opponent. Right. You're an ass.
Plus, when she lights you up with some of her material, like you can see the runway. It is so clear when she's revving up for something. Everything seems so rehearsed to the syllable, and she gives her, like, the applause breaks even when there's no applause, like as if she's timed out exactly how long that should be. It's just so contrived.
It sounds, it doesn't sound genuine at all.
No, and inauthentic. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But she stepped up to the plate, and she is. I think, Travis, in my travels, it feels like, and maybe it's just in my aunt mentions because people know how much we love Amy, but it feels like it's Michelle Obama and Amy Klobuchar's joke that have gotten the most traction from the DNC. I guess Cuomo, Obama, and Amy Klobuchar's material.
And de Blasio not being part of the package.
Oh, he wasn't asked to be there?
I don't know if he wasn't asked to be there, but he was. They did this like montage of like Democratic leaders and stuff, and he was not part of it.
No.
I was just excited. This is how I felt when you see oh, Chappelle just dropped a new special. Like I wasn't expecting this. Like I was still enjoying his old stuff, but
When Klobuchar came out with her new material.
Yeah, this is 846.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Jim, you say it's tough to write for a stand-up. It's tough to write material in this. But let me tell you something. Since Amy Klobuchar has left the scene, she's like Eminem on that 8 Mile bus.
Oh,
she's
that's
just sitting
good
there
to know.
jotting all her notes down and figuring out what word goes with what word. And like when I show up, and by the way, that she felt strong about her joke because she opened with it. She didn't start with speech. She didn't try to tug on heartstrings. She decided to start, open the speech with a little humor. The similarities between Amy Klobuchar and David Brent are alarming.
Chip. Yeah, David Brent is a good example.
Yeah, but Chip is there too.
Wow.
But the David Brent thing. You want to hear the joke, Jim?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Amy Klobuchar coming strong last night at the DNC.
Hello, America.
Like right there. She's got this big dopey smile on her face. Like, what are you so happy about? What are you so happy about? How long have you practiced? And you look at her, and it looks like she spent weeks looking into a mirror going, hello, America. Hello, America. Hello, America.
She comes off as very not genuine. Like, there's nothing enjoyable about watching her talk.
No, except when she opens up the old joke book.
Good.
Yeah, when she adds a little humor, a little levity. It's a very serious time.
Sure.
We need a little levity.
Hello, America. Like my friend Catherine, I believe that the right to vote is fundamental and the post office is essential. The president may hate the post office, but he's still going to have to send them a change of address card come January.
I'll be honest. I've heard worse jokes than that. I would have rephrased that, but that wasn't as terrible as I was expecting. I would say it's not a great joke.
She got a lot of home run Klobuchars last night.
It's so. I've heard worse, but that's just not.
It's the whole package, though. It's her smile as she's getting it out, where she's like, "You guys just wait.
Wait till you hear what I've got.
Here
for
it
you.
comes.
Here's a joke." Yeah, I know. I understand that.
And the way it's set up and the way it's paced, I'm 100% convinced that she's watching stand-up comedy specials and practicing her delivery of the joke.
Maybe.
The way she says, like she's not talking to anybody. There's nobody there. But there's no audience. So when she goes, like, who are you saying to?
That's right. Yeah.
I was in a post office the other day.
Yeah. Anybody Anybody pick up the mail? You know, I love the post office. I know the president.
Like my friend Catherine, I believe that the right to vote is fundamental and the post office is essential. You know, the president may hate the post office, but he's still going to have to send them a change of address card come January.
And this is why I'll explain to you why she stinks.
Tell me.
This is why she stinks. Because the joke should have been, and come January, he's still going to have to send them a change of address card. But Clumsy gives the punchline and then adds come January at the end of it. It's not a perfect thing, but it's you try to keep the punchline to the end of the sentence so you don't talk after it. You understand?
Right,
you don't
like
say he's still going to have to send them a change of address card come January. The come January is trampling. You're trampling your own line.
Maybe she thought that when she said come January, that would be the big punch because people were like, oh, because that's when we'll have a new president. But, I mean, when else would?
Still poorly phrased. Just poorly phrased. Yeah. She should have, I don't know. I'm expecting great stand-up from her.
Well, she's
sure
clearly
she's a nice
put some
lady.
work in.
I'm sure she's a nice lady.
I mean, come on. Yeah, she's been getting roasted pretty heavily for her little attempt at comedy again.
Yeah,
you know, just people picked up on the Blizzard thing.
Because the day I ended my presidential campaign was also the day I endorsed Joe Biden.
Yeah, of course. All of you endorsed Joe Biden to fuck over anybody else. Let's be honest. So she should say, I took part in the concerted effort to fuck everybody else and make sure that Joe got the nomination.
Well, you guys know it's fixed, right? So
Joe Biden's life's work. He's a man of scrappy, working-class roots, a man whose own hardships have only made him more determined to lift up those who have been left out. He understands redemption, and he knows resilience. Joe Biden's a man of deep experience. Barack Obama, better known tonight as Michelle's husband.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Oh, first of all, that's like a JFK line. When he said that about his wife because she was such a hit, I think he said, "I'm just the man with Mrs. Kennedy. We're married to Mrs. Kennedy." I forget the line, obviously.
it comes across differently when you say it about your own wife, though.
Of course it does. He's just Michelle. Oh, we get it. Oh God, what a dull thud. This is what Amy Klobuchar is, a dull thud.
Here's why it gives me the douche chills, because you watch it and she's clearly thinking she's going to have the moment of the night. Like, because she was able to spice in some jokes.
Yeah.
This speech doesn't come across to me as a person who's happy about endorsing somebody else. This speech comes across to me as, when you look at her face and the way she's, kind of adding in her, fake, her fake chuckles as she goes.
Sure.
She wants people to watch this speech and go, should have been her. It should have been her. Don't forget, before, people came down on Biden saying you need to have a woman of color be your vice presidential candidate, she was the front runner.
Yes, she was.
So she's probably a little butthurt about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Kamala Harris. I'm not 100% sure why I don't like her. I just remember not liking her during the debate. And by the way, did these mean anything? People
What?
Speaking about, there's not one word Amy Klobuchar said that meant anything to me. He's a man who has fought tirelessly. Who the fuck is watching this going, yes, he did fight tirelessly. That's a great point. I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Well, it's like a homecoming rally. It's like a pep squad rally, It's like
You were all just shitting on him. This is why they're all so awful. You were just shitting on the guy. And the Republicans do it too. You were at the primary, you were just shitting on him. when you were fighting for the nomination. They should
wait.
juxtapose those with things that they've said before. I know people have done that, but that to me would be an interesting. Let's see you marry what you've said about this guy before, when you were calling him a bum, and now all of a sudden there's no one better equipped to lead the free world. Well, then why the fuck were you fighting with him? If he's so equipped, how come 4 months ago you were saying he's basically a pile of shit?
That's I mean, we literally watched Ted Cruz get his dad accused of potentially killing JFK, and be like, you know what? On second thought, Trump's a pretty good guy.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
But that's the game.
But it's so...
Just line up with the party and let's go.
But it's so much. I mean, and even Trump has fallen a little bit guilty of that. Doing, but again, now he's honest, Ted. He falls into it too. But just watching all of these people shit on each other every 4 years, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, that's my guy.
Well, Colbert actually tried to get Kamala Harris on that.
Transition happen? How do you go from being such a passionate opponent on such bedrock principles for you, and now you guys seem to be pals?
It was a debate.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though.
It was a debate.
So you don't mean it?
It was a debate. That the whole reason, literally, it was a debate. It was called a debate.
I understand.
Can you pause that real quick? Debate. I hate her fucking answer because
it's not a good answer.
I'll tell you why it's not a good answer, because the mocking the idea of questioning it is a strategy. Like, they know this is going to come up, so for her to go like, "Oh my God, you guys," is a bullshit strategy to avoid really answering what he's asking. Like, you understand? Oh my God. It's like saying it was a roast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people who get mad at roasts. It was a roast! Like that. But it's different when it's a debate, because you're supposed to be fighting honestly about the way you're going to lead the country. So you're just admitting basically that you lied during the debate, which is fine, but just that's basically what you're saying.
I mean, it's literally the same argument that people have when they're like, oh, weren't you pretending that you hated that guy? And they're like, it's professional wrestling, guys. Come on. Who's taking it seriously?
Yeah,
like,
and that's the tone she's
really
using when explaining it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting there as a wrestling fan going like, is Kamala Harris breaking kayfabe right now on Stephen Colbert's show? You're not supposed to just freely admit that the debates are all nonsense.
Well, does she give a real answer after that? Like, it was a debate. It was a debate. Like, that's such a fucking awful answer. Does she give another answer that's better?
A debate. That the whole reason, literally, it was a debate. It was called a debate.
I understand.
Traveled to the debate. There were journalists there covering the debate, where there would be a debate.
Because
that's kind of it.
That's what a garbage non-answer. Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're right. It is a debate. But back to the point, why during a debate were you saying things that you didn't mean? Does a debate mean, basically, does that mean you just go up and lie? Does that mean you go up there and you don't try to be truthful and actually give your point and give someone credit for their point, that it's win at all cost?
Colbert, too, kind of has this energy where he's like, I mean, this is obviously a question that people are asking, and he was setting her up to have a good answer for it.
He was.
And he's sitting there listening to her bad answer going like, I'm trying to set you up here. Like, what do you want me to do with this, Kamala?
He didn't press her on it?
Not anymore, No, not really. Not really. I think it should have been Klobuchar. We could have had 4 more years of laughs.
Yeah, there would have been some humor. Some humor.
Yeah. Stephen Colbert, or as he's known tonight, Mrs. Colbert's husband.
Oof. Bad.
Hang on a sec. I'm trying to go back to AK. That's what I call Amy Klobuchar. AK. These Twitter videos sometimes are slow to load. Here you go.
More determined to lift up those who have been left out. He understands redemption and he knows resilience. Joe Biden's a man of deep experience. Barack Obama, better known tonight as Michelle's husband, he leaned on...
You see that she gives the pause for laughter? And I will allow you a pause to chuckle before I continue. Yeah, you enjoy that one for yourselves.
I'll let you take
Joe
a
for his
slow drink of that one and just enjoy it.
Process what I said there, folks. Process that one.
strength and decency, and you can too. You know, most candidates, when they end their campaign, that day is a hard one. For me, it was a moment filled with great joy because the day I ended my presidential
that's something I agree with
campaign.
her on. It was also a moment of great joy for me. You ended your campaign. We're on the same side of the fence on that one.
I don't know. I kind of now wish that we had like, how great would it have been to have 3 months of Klobuchar speeches? Like, to watch this woman campaign would have been a joy for me.
I would be overrun by the annoyance. Like, even though I would enjoy and understand the value in watching her be awful, it would the annoyance would overwhelm me.
Not me.
I would be overwhelmed.
Was also the day I endorsed Joe Biden. Joe ran for the same reasons I did when I announced my campaign in the middle of that blizzard on the banks of the Mississippi River.
Back to the blizzard.
She had to mention it.
We know about the blizzard.
Yeah, we don't
I know.
care.
I know the blizzard.
To cross the river of our divides, to bring this nation together, to be a president for all of America.
She's making it seem like, what's that river Washington had to cross in the middle of, like, on Christmas Day?
Delaware.
Yeah. She's making it seem like when she went through that blizzard in her campaign, that was Klobuchar crossing the Delaware.
I know. I'd rather hear Colonel Kurtz talking about the fucking Ohio River and the gardenias that were at the river. Great reference. For
As I
anybody who's over
said the
50.
day I...
Yeah. I mean, look, I know where the reference came from if it makes you feel better.
The Ohio
endorsed
River.
him. If you feel stuck in the middle of the extremes in our politics, if you are tired of the noise and the nonsense, you have a home with me, and you have a home with Joe Biden.
Home with me? You're not running, man.
Yeah, nobody wants a home with you.
You're not part of this. Like, literally, it says Senator Amy Klobuchar, D in parentheses, and then former presidential candidate. That's it. That's the title, former presidential candidate. You're not, what do you mean a home with you? Sorry, Amy.
I would love to interview Kamala Harris and then ask her about it and go, listen, about the whole thing where when you're fighting, like at first I know it was a debate, but then you ask the question and then she can't give you the answer. It was a debate. That answer is going to annoy me all week.
I like it. I like it when they start pulling the curtain back and be like, yeah, I mean, it's a dumb question. It's fake.
But it's not a dumb question. It's a very legit question.
Only if you watch this as if it's real life, Jim. You're not supposed to do that.
And they all do it, by the way. Of course. It goes without saying.
Oh, yeah. This isn't a Kamala Harris, Joe Biden thing. Like, this has been
everyone
historically, yeah.
She just had a surprisingly bad answer for an attorney.
One person I can think of who has enough integrity not to do this. Jeb Bush. Jeb would not turn. Chris Christie fell right in line. He was like, I'm going to get a job with the president. And then Trump was like, funny thing. No, you're not.
Yeah.
But Jeb wouldn't fall in line. He was like, nope. He humiliated me. That terrible picture of me trying to put that hoodie on and also blame my brother for 9/11. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
He had enough integrity that he did not get behind Trump afterwards.
Yeah, he didn't.
Even Lil Marco kind of fell in line. And did he come across looking like a putz.
Yeah.
That's why I was so proud to stand with him then and across this great country. That's why we are all now standing united behind Joe and my friend Kamala. Our nation's motto is out of many, one. And as you're about to see, it's also the story of the Democratic primary. Thank you, America.
America. That's good. It's good. She put the emphasis. Can we hear the last sentence again? Thank you.
Of course we can.
America. What, she never said the word before? You have to sound out America, you idiot. Thank you, America.
Behind Joe.
Maybe she was looking at, maybe it was America KKKA. Maybe it was that Ice Cube album that she was reading.
And my friend Kamala, our nation's motto is out of many, one. And as you're about to see, it's also the story of the Democratic primary. Thank you, America.
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 She's just, she's lining up because she wants a position. That's all it is.
Yes.
She wants a position in the, whatever, I guess. Hey, look, maybe I'll do this.
In the Biden White House? Yes.
Yeah, that's what she's aiming for.
It does feel, doesn't it feel like she got a taste of that national spotlight and she does not want to let it go? More so, I feel like, than most other candidates. Like, I don't know, there's something about Buttigieg that I feel like he was actually trying to accomplish something.
Yeah.
Andrew Yang is still, he's on CNN last night, but he's still doing the Andrew Yang thing. He's not like, I think I just said thang by mistake, but just know that was actually a mistake, not me actually trying to say Andrew Yang thang.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But he's still being Andrew Yang and not, but yeah, obviously he's a Joe Biden supporter, but
sure,
he's not sitting there completely going like, okay, whatever I got to say to be in a position of power, I'll say it. By the way, I got a new joke for everybody. You think I should open with it?
Yeah, it's a bad joke.
America. Yeah, she left that speech going, well, that was a home run. People are going to be talking about that tomorrow.
Yep, she's very, very confident in that one.
Mm-hmm. Then Michelle Obama came and took her spotlight, and then everybody just made fun of her for her jokes.
Okay.
It's a bummer.
Yep.
It's a bummer for poor Amy.
Yeah.
But she'll get him next time.
She will.
Yeah, I guess this thing goes on. I think Kamala Harris maybe speaks on Wednesday, maybe? Then,
when did the Clintons talk?
I don't know. I don't know if the Clintons are going to talk.
Oh, they were both slated unless they've changed.
Oh, okay, maybe they will. I don't know. I haven't. I guess I would think that they would. They still carry some weight, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe tonight. I think Biden speaks on either Thursday or Friday.
I think Hillary speaks tonight and Bill on Wednesday. Spread the love.
Bill and Kamala on the same night, huh? Boy, oh boy.
Kamala, man, stop being so racist.
Sorry.
Oh, is it Kamala? Is how you say her name? Is it Kamala or Kamala?
It's Kamala.
It's Kamala. But I think it's only racist if somebody corrects you and then you go, fuck that.
Right, well, you've been warned.
If you refuse the correction. I might accidentally call her. Look, I've been using the name Kamala all my life.
Yeah.
I've seen that name spelled before, and to me, it's always been Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I think that's even worse.
Oh.
It's not good.
Oh. Kamala Harris. I said it right.
Go. That's better.
Okay. All right. See, I'm not
refusing. I don't want you to get in trouble.
You only get in trouble if you go if somebody's like, hey, this is the right way to say it. And you're like, fuck you. I'm going to say it my way. You pull a Carlson on them. If you pull I'm not trying to pull a Carlson. Tucker was on his show and somebody was like, Tucker, would you please say her name right? And Tucker was basically said, no, I won't. He rejected the correction. And he resented the fact that somebody was correcting him. And the person said, it is disrespectful to pronounce somebody's name wrong, which it is not disrespectful to unknowingly pronounce somebody's name wrong, but it is extremely disrespectful to knowingly pronounce somebody's name wrong. If you are pronouncing somebody's name wrong on purpose, if you're doing it on purpose, that is a disrespectful thing to do.
It's just stubbornness. It's so silly. Just say, I say Kamala, but if it's Kamala, I'm not invested in saying it wrong. Who cares?
Yeah, you're not doing it on purpose. If you're purposely pronouncing somebody's name wrong, that is a way to disrespect them.
Yep.
Yeah. Just funny argument to have. This is the way you pronounce the name. No. All right, whatever, dude.
Did he just say no?
He started arguing with the guy. He's like, oh, what? I can't say her name? Oh, what am I? Like, he got the guy in a trap. This is why Tucker Carlson is so good. He got the guy in a trap. Tucker Carlson's like, oh, so you can't say anything about him without it being offensive. You can't do anything. And the guy was like, the guy should have said, Tucker, calm down. I'm just telling you how to pronounce this person's name. But instead, the guy got wrapped up in the Tucker Carlson trap.
Yeah.
Tucker made it seem like you can't say anything about this person. Kamala. Huh? You can't say anything about Kamala without it being offensive. And it lit up all the people that are like, oh, all these lefties and woke culture. I'm against it. And he found it, you know what I mean? He found that corner, that's what he does.
Yeah.
But this other guy that was kind of arguing with him, he fell right into the bear trap. I was like, you dope.
Yeah.
You fool.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm not offended. I'm just saying that you're saying her name wrong. That's all.
That's it. Exactly. That's just, no, Tucker, like, this is when you go, Tucker, calm down.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you even meant to offend her. I'm just saying that's the mispronunciation of her name.
Yeah. If her name was Mary and you were calling her Mari, I would tell you it's not, you're saying it wrong.
Right. That's all it is. Don't go nuts. But instead, Tucker went nuts and the guy went nuts back, so it seemed like the other guy was nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, there you go. Nailed him, Tuck. Got him again.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what they say, don't cuck the tuck. That's what they say right before. Every night on Fox News, they go, we don't cuck the tuck. Fox News.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They're making T-shirts. All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we're all abreast to everything going on in the world. We got Mike Cannon, who's going to be on the show. I'd love to get an update from him. I don't know if he's back to normal life yet or if he's never gone back to the city. I'm interested in all these people. Your buddy, we could talk about it when we get back from break. Jim, your buddy who we've had on the show, James Altucher.
Yes. I was thinking about last night, too.
Everybody got all stirred up on Twitter last night. They said that he was not a New Yorker. They got mad at him because he wrote an article about New York is dead and it's never coming back. So,
I don't know if I agree with his conclusion, but I mean, it is a good thought. And he made a great point about internet speed, which I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is one reason people couldn't work from home after 9/11.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk about all that and more when we get back. Stay tuned.
We'll be back with more Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
The Bennington Show is practicing social distance radio live, and you can too.
Quit your binge watching just for a minute and come hang out with us, Ron and Gail Bennington, and joined by some of the funniest comedians in the world. Being alone never felt less lonely.
Live every weekday starting 2 p.m. East, Faction Talk 103, and always available on demand on the SiriusXM app.
What's summer without a road trip? And what's a road trip without music? That's why we created a channel crammed full of nothing but driving tunes.
Don't show up, don't come up, girl. I want it that way.
Sirius XM's Road Trip Radio, channel 301 on select radios, and always on the Sirius XM app.
Are you ready?
Friday nights. A new era of WWE SmackDown is on Fox.
Oh my God!
Featuring your favorite WWE superstars, all ready to put the smack back in SmackDown. And don't forget, I'm still the big dog. Roman Reigns.
There it is!
New yard.
This is awesome!
Same rules. Believe that. Fridays won't know what hit it. Friday Night SmackDown at 8 p.m. on Fox.
Your dog's health is too important to feed some highly processed burnt brown kibble. Make the switch to the farmer's dog. It's real food, made fresh and delivered right to your door. The Farmer's Dog is made from fresh meat and vegetables, gently steamed to ensure only nutrient-rich whole foods end up in your dog's bowl. No high heat processing, no preservatives to keep it shelf stable for years. Just real, fresh food. The Farmer's Dog worked with top vets to create complete and balanced recipes, so you know your dog is getting the nutrition needed to thrive. And it's pre-portioned just for them, so you don't have to worry about under or overfeeding. The Farmer's Dog makes it simple to give your dog a truly healthy diet. Start today by going to thefarmersdog.com/SXM and you'll save 50% on your first box and get free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com/SXM for 50% off your first box with free shipping. thefarmersdog.com/SXM.
Snoring not only hurts relationships, it can cause health issues like daytime drowsiness, irritability, and fatigue. Just ask ENT Dr. Joshua Light.
In my practice, I see people daily that have all kinds of health-related problems connected to poor sleep. As a doctor, my answer is Z Quiet. It's my first choice for my patients who snore.
As a woman, I feel like snoring was really embarrassing, and I found Z Quiet and problem solved.
Once I started using Z Quiet, I was actually sleeping all throughout the night.
Don't suffer through another night. Z Quiet can restore your sleep and your relationship.
My patients agree, both men and women. It relieves snoring and stops the sound instantly.
Z Quiet works for both men and women and is now available on Amazon Prime. Or go to zquiet.com to try it risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95. That's zquiet.com to try it risk-free for only $9.95. zquiet.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like that much-needed 125-inch flat-screen TV.
It's hurting my eyes a lot.
For your 100-square-foot bedroom.
My neck isn't so much stiff as it's completely stuck.
With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Uh-oh, I'm seeing color splotches.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
If you record TV, you probably need a better DVR. It's a fact of life. That is why you should get Dish. It's TV's most powerful DVR. It's basically a master multitasker because it'll record up to 16 shows at once. 16! You ever try doing 16 things at once? You'd probably have a meltdown, but the Hopper, yeah, it'll record so many shows. No meltdowns. And by meltdowns, I mean that thing that's like, dunk, recorded conflict. Good luck getting that from the Hopper. So now, instead of wasting time rescheduling recordings, you can work on the art of multitasking. Like nodding while saying no, or texting while walking. Just know that no matter what skills you master, the Hopper's got you beat. Record up to 16 shows at once. Just another reason Dish is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2019 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To learn more, dial 1-844-CALL-DISH. Visit dish.com or find a local retailer near you.
Tennis fans, get ready for a Sirius XM Town Hall event.
Jim Courier, French Open champion.
Join me, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, and Hall of Famer Jim Courier. We'll talk about some of his biggest moments and get his thoughts on today's superstars, Fed, Nadal, and Djokovic. And we'll get Jim's take on the upcoming U.S. Open. It's the Sirius XM Town Hall with Tennis Channel's Jim Courier and me, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, Thursday afternoon at 6 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. And on Amazon, Alexa, Google Assistant, or however you stream in your house.
AdamandEve.com says the best part of staying at home is playing at home. Ooh. Simply choose almost any one item at 50% off and also get free shipping. All you need to do is remember this radio station's exclusive offer code DOLL. Got it? That's DOLL DOLL. Then go to AdamandEve.com and choose an adventurous, neat toy for him, a sexy piece of lingerie for her, or maybe something you'll both enjoy together. And don't you dare forget the 50% off and free shipping on an item sure to spice things up. Plus, it's delivered for free, discreetly right to your door. Just remember offer code DOLL. That's DOLL doll. So go to adamandeve.com and choose something daring to spice up your night. And use that offer code DOLL. Don't forget that offer code DOLL.
We're a nation founded on principles, on freedom.
With leaders who've changed the course of human civilization.
When we take part in democracy,
We control our destiny.
We exercise our rights and hold our leaders accountable.
and we always speak our mind.
We may be separated by issues,
But we're united by a common truth.
America's ultimate power lies in her people.
Democracy 2020. It's in your hands. Fox News. America is watching.
NFL fans, go to NFLShop.com and get ready for summer with NFL gear. With special offers going on daily, NFL Shop is the best place to find jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and more. Searching for your team's latest look for the 2020 season? Head to NFL Shop now. You can choose from the largest assortment for all 32 teams anywhere. NFLShop.com is your source for the best selection of officially licensed NFL products from jerseys, apparel, hats, collectibles, and more. To shop now, go to NFLShop.com today.
At Sure Payroll, small business is our business. We started 20 years ago with a mission to serve America's small businesses, and that mission is even more critical in these uncertain times. Whatever your situation, help is here, and we've updated our product to support you in taking advantage of the economic relief on offer from the CARES Act and the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. With Sure Payroll, free up your time and get peace of mind that payroll is handled. It's payroll so easy, you can set it up and do it yourself in minutes on your PC or smartphone anytime. Enjoy U.S.-based support when you need it, even evenings and weekends. And if you need a 401k plan, workers' comp, or HR help, Sure Payroll has that too. It's no wonder they get so many 5-star reviews on Google. Our entire team is standing by to get you set up with 1 month free. Call 844-SURE-PAYROLL. That's 844-787-3729. Or visit surepayroll.com. Let's get through this together. Stay safe and stay healthy.
No one is ever psyched to talk about erectile dysfunction. It's not easy. It's not pleasant. Usually we brush it off. We blame outside forces, or we just say, I'm tired, or work is stressful, or your meatloaf sucks. Whatever it is, we avoid talking about what it really is. We avoid sex. With Roman, it's easy to talk about with a healthcare professional who can prescribe real medication. It's simple, safe, and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for your erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. The healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is very simple. Go to GetRoman.com/Teft and complete an online visit. Erectile dysfunction used to be very tough to tackle. Now it's not. There's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Teft today. TEFFT. If approved, you'll get $15 off your first order of ED treatment. Erectile dysfunction treatment. That's Roman.com/Teft.
And now, Jim Norton and Sam Roberts return.
Yes. Finally, they did this song right.
Down to Georgia, he was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind, way behind, and willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man picking the guitar and playing it hot, the devil jumped up on a hickory stump, said, "Boy, let me tell you what. Well, I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a guitar player too. And if you care to take this dare, I'll make a bet with you. You're a pretty damn good strummer, boy, but give the devil his due. I'll bet a guitar gold against your soul. It says I'm better than you." But the boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet. You're gonna regret I'm the best that's ever been."
Welcome back. It's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Did they cut the line?
Yeah, they don't do the hook. I listen to the whole song waiting for the hook. They don't do the hook. They don't do it.
What's he do? Who is this?
This is one of the great rock bands of all time. This is Nickelback. I feel like they're trolling. Like they know that they suck. And so they're like,
I hate
what
that
would
there was
suck?
a band of demons. I've always hated that line. A band of demons.
Yeah.
Awful.
I mean, they're shredding. It's cool that Nickelback is shredding. But at the same time, there's something about the way the lyrics are presented that this makes this song seem way more cheesy.
Yeah. A band of demons.
Yeah, this song is actually, it makes the song worse. But the shredding's cool. I didn't know Nickelback could shred like this. I thought they really just focused more on butt rock. This song, though, it would have a home on SiriusXM shit, the channel that I've been building.
And this is not trolling because he just died, so they're doing it like thinking that this is a great version.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's a tribute.
It's a tribute.
You think his family
band
feels
of demons
better?
joined in, and it sounded something like this. Boom, boom, boom. I always hated the band of demons were shitty. I never
Also
liked the
hated
band of demons. They didn't play well.
A Canadian guy is kind of putting on a southern accent so he can sing the song properly.
Yeah, he should be. Oh, yeah, the devil, eh? Devil bowed his head, eh? He knew he'd been beat.
Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again. I done told you once, you son of a bitch. I'm the best."
We were all holding to see if they said "son of a bitch" or the "son of a gun" version. I hate the "son of a gun" version. It makes me crazy.
Do you?
I feel like I've wasted 3 minutes. Whenever they say "I told you once, you son of a gun," I'm like, I've listened to the wrong version for 3 minutes, and it bothers me.
I bet Nickelback cuts a radio version that says "son of a gun."
You can say "son of a bitch" now, though.
Yeah, but you want to, not if you want to be on like Z100 and stuff like that. This isn't Cardi B. This is Nickelback.
Yeah, I would say that's not a particularly great version.
No, I wouldn't say so. I prefer the Korn version. I think Korn still reigns supreme.
When did they do theirs?
To tell you the truth, theirs was a few years ago. Oh, was it last week? Was it that?
Yeah,
was it new last week?
Yeah,
I think
a week or two ago.
I know we just played it. I didn't realize it was new. So everybody, all these dumb bands are just putting out the versions of this song. Why didn't Nickelback just go, well, Korn just did it. Why would we do it?
I think we have to recognize that Charlie Daniels had one song we cared about. He did it. I want to say it was 1979. Am I wrong about that? Or is it later? I think it was 79. He had one song that we cared about. He did other songs I've heard that were very good. But basically, he had one song that we cared about.
You're right. It's tough to argue that if that's the song that keeps getting remade.
Name one other one.
I can't. I tried. I went through my mental
Rolodex. One
Rolodex.
other Charlie Daniels song.
I had a real tough time. Yep. He is got the same number of songs that people care about as Bocephus. Bocephus has the Monday Night Football theme. Oh, you ready? He's Hank Williams Jr. the third. But people call me Bocephus. He sings, "Oh, you ready for the football?"
Yeah.
People love that song.
I don't care for that at all. I've heard it.
You don't?
I hate it. I hate it.
Well, that's hard to believe. Oh, well, maybe Bocephus isn't your cup of tea then.
Yeah, perhaps not. I don't like it at all. But yeah, Charlie Daniels had one song. I mean, and the country fans may, think I'm being an asshole, but the reality is he had one song we cared about. We don't know anything else about this man.
Let's see.
There was another song I heard that was really good too. I just can't remember it.
But you didn't say you only had one good song. You said you only had one song that we cared about.
Yeah.
So even if you heard another good song, that still doesn't
negate this. Yeah.
It doesn't negate your thing. Yeah. When you Google him,
songs.
Well, when you Google him, that string of hits that usually comes up for people does not come up.
It's just one.
Long-haired country boy. Drinking my baby goodbye. Still in Saigon. There it is. Boogie Woogie Fiddle Country.
Oh, boy, is that an awful name for a song.
Ooh.
Can we hear a little
How about
Boogie
this?
Woogie Fiddle? I want to hear a little bit of that. Boogie Woogie Fiddle.
Oh, Boogie Woogie Fiddle Country Blues. Here you go. I got it for you. Told you once, you son of a bitch. I'm the best there's ever been. Here is Boogie Woogie Fiddle. Part of my French.
Which could also be under his chin, depending on how fat he is.
That's the Boogie Woogie Country Blues. Yeah, I think you might be right, Jim. I think there might be a shortage of Charlie Daniels hits beyond that one. Beyond
Yeah. Well, they did have The Devil Came Back to Georgia. Devil Comes Back to Georgia. Can we hear a minute of The Devil Comes Back to Georgia?
I think it seems like a good idea. Let me pull that up ski for you.
I love this. The South's going to do it again. What, lose?
The South's going to do it again is a big song.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big song. Oh, how about this one? This ain't no rag, it's a flag. That's for America. Let me see. Southern Boy, a few more rednecks.
How about The Devil Came Back to Georgia? I want to hear what the return anthem.
Let's see. There it is. The Devil Came Back to Georgia. Featuring Mark O'Connor with Daniels, Cash, Tritt, and Marty Stewart. Let me hit this. This came.
Been 10 long years since the devil laid his fiddle at
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny Cash.
Burned inside his mind the
Johnny,
way
why?
he suffered that defeat. In the darkest pits of hell, the devil hatched an evil plan to tempt the fiddle player, for he's just a mortal man. The sin of pride, the devil.
You know, we say a lot of it. Johnny Cash is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
But he also... I went through that Johnny Cash museum. He didn't strike me as a guy who liked to turn down a buck.
Yeah, William P. Pryor had an expensive lifestyle.
Johnny Cash liked to cash in. When I looked in, I saw the Johnny Cash card, which was the Johnny Cash ATM card. I was like, okay, all right. Johnny liked to, Johnny didn't mind making a buck. So, you know, I'd say that being on The Devil Comes Back to Georgia does not take away from the legend of Cash.
No. Mm-mm.
Cash part, don't you?
I don't mind the I don't like the song, but I don't mind the chorus is okay because it's Johnny Cash.
It's Johnny. Because I'm finding myself kind of enjoying it
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
more
there's
than I
something-
wanted
he's Johnny Cash.
I wanted to view this song with derision and mockery, but I find myself kind of enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully somebody takes over for Johnny and we can
What the fuck is that?
I'm going to get this fiddle back in tune. He hasn't played. He had a baby.
Since the baby came in June? God, I hate that. I hate Johnny's life. I don't want to know Johnny, after he wins the Devils thing, he fucking knocks some broad up and has a kid and he's tired. He's fucking, his Devils fiddles in the garage. Who the fuck wants to know that? The baby came in June. Oh, he was born with heart palpitation. Who gives a shit?
They couldn't come up with anything that rhymed with
tune.
Get this fiddle in tune.
Yep.
They didn't want to say womb was ruined.
Yeah. Or, yeah. That was the price of winning it.
You
the
get
Devil's
that?
voice.
But do you get why he's the fiddle player underground, but now he walks the land? Underground, that's Hades.
In hell, yeah. He's the, and I hate the little evil sound of the Devil's voice.
Oh, cool. They got some electric guitar in there to make it a little contemporary.
Yeah, that's nice.
The instrumental is good enough.
Yeah.
You could put up with the dumb devil story for one song. But it's, by the time you get to the second song, you're like, enough.
But the first devil story was actually, there's a hickory stump. He hops up on it. I guess he's short. And, he's kind of slick. He's a salesman. Let me tell you what. Hey, he's tempting him. But now he's just over the top. I'm in Hades. We have back to hear a little bit more of that. Those lyrics are literally, that's something a 15-year-old wrote. That's like 15-year-old boy lyrics.
He plays the devil, the devil, I play the fiddle underground and now I walk on lane.
No, this last version. Who is this guy singing? Who is this person?
I don't know. I
don't know. Why is he a part of this? Why are we talking about him? I don't know who he is. Upsetting me.
It's maybe Mark O'Connor. Professionalism to the table, doesn't
Johnny
he?
Cash is the only thing that is causing this song to not be just wiped off the table. Like literally the way you ever see the way Jake LaMotta knocked his fucking his overcooked steak and carrots on the floor? That's what I want to do to this song. You want to flip the table and put it all on this, but Johnny Cash does keep stepping. I don't want to hear that the fucking kid didn't practice. The baby came in June. I don't need a real life update. And a text man came in and got him. Like, I don't need to hear a real update on a guy's, a musician's life who falls apart while the Devils had nothing to do.
Bro, if you're going to be a musician and you decide to have a child, figure out how to balance them. Keep practice. There's no reason. There's no way having a kid will stop you entirely from practicing the fiddle.
No. And Johnny's lawyer took his 10% and got his tour. But like, I don't need to hear the fucking ins and outs. The shitty career this guy has. Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty bad song. What was the original song came out? I want to say 79. Because that song was, am I correct? That song's 93. And if it's 10 years, that means that the original Devil Went Down to Georgia was 83.
You were right, yeah. 79.
Oh, okay. So it was more than that because I think I was about 11 when it came out. Because my friend Bill D'Angelo, his brother, is the one who I believe had it. His older brother, John, either Joey or John, turned me on to this song for the first time. So that's kind of how I'm dating, like when it was in my life. And
then you missed The Devil Went Back to Georgia. You missed that one.
Yeah, but if it's 93, how the fuck is it? Yeah. The Devil Went Back. We'll talk to Mike. Mike Cannon is.
It was 90. It was 93.
So how is that 10 years ago? That's 14 years. Little artistic license.
Yeah. The math was wrong. Yeah, I think there might have been some artistic license because you're
right. It's been 14 years since the devil came down, and oh boy.
Yeah, they just like the sound. Maybe they wrote it. It took them 4 years to come out, and they just didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't fix it. Mike Cannon joins us now.
Hi, Mike.
Mike Cannon, whose hair has turned from a bright pink, a Gwen Stefani, Eve, pink. Is now. Is that a natural salt and pepper?
Yeah, this is true dusty broom closet gray.
I feel like it's gotten grayer since the dye.
Dude, it has. I definitely, fucking with it certainly didn't help my cause, but it's now just white across the board. There is speckles of brown somewhere, right. But, very sparse.
That's a great painting behind you. It looks like one of the pictures in The Mouth when Alex kills the girl with the giant dildo. Do you remember that moment where he fucking smashes her in the face and there's like all those weird paintings of tits and ladies' torsos come up? That's what you're sitting at. Where are you?
What is
Kubrickian.
Oh, it's
Clockwork.
A Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Oh, so I haven't seen that since senior year of high school. I gotta re-up my movie rape scenes. But this is a Gustav Klimt. Definitely not mine. It's my in-laws. I'm still here living the successful life.
That sounds like the name of a Twitter troll. Fucking Gustav Klimt told me I suck. Sounds like a made-up name.
How are things at your in-laws? I mean, I would imagine when you escaped the city, number one, you probably didn't think you'd be hanging out in Rockland County for 5 months at this point. You probably didn't think you'd be there for 5 months or possibly the rest of the year. But you also probably didn't think that you would watch New York City completely fall apart while you were gone, to the point where you were like, maybe we won't be going back at all.
Well, that's like the frustrating part of this is we had an apartment lined up for Queens that we just like barely missed out on right before this entire thing folded in on itself, and but the idea was just to kind of get back right on the horse and figure it out and find a place to live, and it's obviously such a nice benefit to have this so close nearby, but my father-in-law doesn't believe this is happening, so it's a daily speech.
But isn't it a part of you that's like, when I get back to the city, I can get a great place? You can get a great place back in New York now. The money rents are going to be much cheaper. So I mean,
I think that's the case for Manhattan. Like my friend just got an insane price apparently for a new apartment in his same building because he's about to have a baby. So that's real. Apparently he got like a crazy price on that. But I've heard from friends in Brooklyn and Queens that they're holding the line. A lot of these places are just not going down in the outer boroughs, and that's where I'm interested in living. I don't think I can do Manhattan.
Well, yeah, because that'll be the first thing, right? I mean, people who are moving out of Manhattan are still going to want to move into boroughs. Right, so you kind of, if you want to get the boroughs to go down, you just have to wait for the toxicity of Manhattan to seep throughout the city.
Well, it's weird. Feeney, my co-host for Irish Goodbye, he lives in Queens, and so every once in a while he'll like send me a text just updating me on the violence situation in the city, and he's like, hey, just a heads up, a dude got stabbed to death and then lit on fire outside of his apartment building the other day. So
wow.
Yeah. That happened like last week, I believe. He got some sort of Google update. And then last night while we were recording a show, there was a live PD blast out that a man was running around his street with a knife stabbing strangers.
Wow.
Oh.
The set on fire thing is scary. Like I was watching an Antifa video, and like that's how you know we've descended into a place that we can't come back from. If someone gets burned alive in the street by a mob, by one guy, one crazy fuck can do anything. But like I see all these videos from like these villages, like where they in Africa, if they catch you stealing, that's a huge crime in a lot of these remote places where they have no money. They'll burn you, and you'll see it like in certain places in like Venezuela. But they're very, very dangerous areas. So if you see a mob allowing a guy to be burned alive in the street, you're in trouble. Like you can't come back from that. Because there's a group of people going, we're going to watch you burn. And I could never picture that happening in America. But I started to think like you might see that. Like they literally, somebody might get set on fire and people will stand there and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it as a punishment, but due process.
100%
due process.
Yeah. Make sure that you're at least guilty of heckling during a show.
Right. Yeah, like in Batman, like you at least have to go to court and have Scarecrow decide. Yeah. I think you're right.
But everybody's just going to be walking around with like pocket kerosenes and some camping matches so they can start a fire at any moment.
I did see that you've been my kind of archetype for the Central Park comedy shows.
Oh yeah,
I did see that you went back into the city for the Central Park comedy shows, and those things. I saw yours on like your Instagram, I think. I saw Mark Norman posted some of his on YouTube. I have not seen one Central Park show that makes me think that would be a good time for the performer.
No, it's honestly like, so the backyard shows are the thing to do at this point because, you know, they're somewhat contained. They have a microphone. There's like, you know, they actually make it feel like a professional atmosphere. There's electricity that separates us from the screaming, ranting homeless person on Port Authority. It's like, you know, we're at least different from that person, but the park, you may as well be a fecal throwing maniac in the middle of people that are just kind of looking, because there's a collection of people there for the show, and then other people that just kind of are gravitated towards it because there's somebody shouting.
And there's no mic.
No mic at all, which is brutal, but you know, it's what it is, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I guess so. People are just doing it. People are doing it probably because just the hunger to get back on stage, and also people, I think, on some level know this is a time that's going to pass,
right?
And it's like protesting, and like people are doing this so they can look back and go, "Hey, I remember I did that." Like it's a way to do it while it's happening, because you know this is temporary, but it's also people want to get back on stage and perform too.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, because I've been talking to DeStefano about it, and he's gung-ho that stand-up is dead, and he's hunkering down in his podcast, and that's just what that is. And, you know, for once it gets cold, I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. I think New York is going to, you know, unfortunately go through some really dark shit, and not even necessarily through the virus, just in terms of not being able to have any sort of normalcy, because these performances are going to go away. Obviously, the outdoor eating is going to go away. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be pretty bleak. But I'm doing it 100% because I'm a whore. Like, you know, it's for the comedy, of course, and it's to feel what I have lost. But it's also, I'm bringing a camera with me everywhere I go. I'm trying to get content. I'm trying to continue to feel like I'm pushing forward during this time, because if I'm just sitting back and waiting for comedy to come back, you know, what the fuck am I doing? What is this, the 80s? You know, I'm like, I'm waiting for the storm to pass, and then hopefully my career can resume.
Yeah, winter might be, without the outdoor places, it will suck, but crime will go down. At least the colder it gets, the less crime you have, because people are not outside. This is a weird thing when people in warm weather, people are just more violent and shitty than they are when it's cold.
50 Cent once said, "It's hot out in this bitch." That's a good enough reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably, that does sum it up, even though that's probably
eloquently said. Yeah,
that's not the way the fucking sociologist would have phrased it, but that probably is what it comes down to. It's hot out this bitch. Yeah, that's my reason. I'm warm and cranky.
The problem is that even if there's no crime, everybody's still going to be broke, because that's when the winters, when stuff is going to start closing. And it's not like I feel like the winter, there's a real risk of things in great volume closing, not closing temporarily. That's when people are like, yeah, we can't, I don't know if we can bounce back from this, especially the restaurants and the places like that where they've set up outdoor spots at least to get some kind of money rolling in.
Right.
I mean, I guess they can try to go back to relying on takeout business, but
The good news
they might
about
even
that
be open by
is-
then.
is-
They might be open by then. I mean, there's New York is slowly reopening, and yeah, it's like kind of touch and go, but they are moving forward. Like it's not like people in New York are just the numbers are way down, and it looks like gyms are going to be allowed to open, not in the city, and for 30% capacity. Like it's gearing up to be for the winter. Things might be a lot closer to being in good shape.
Yeah, who knows? And, we might be the next Wuhan in the sense that 30,000 will gather in an open-air pool party and have a good time,
I hope so. And then they'll clamp right back down.
I love that. Who the hell knows what's going on over there? I surely don't. But it is funny to, watch Americans that just got back from Ocean City, Maryland, just being like, what the fuck are they doing? It's like you were just doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Hey, who do you guys, I don't know if you guys heard the thing that was announced. I love that our president will hype stuff like this and get everybody talking. There's supposed to be a big, important pardon happening today.
Oh, hell.
Did you hear? He said it's not Snowden, though, because that was the first guess, that Edward Snowden. He said yesterday, I think, that today there's going to be a very important pardon. And it's got everybody speculating as to who it could be. I really hope it's Joe Exotic, because if it is, that's a pat on our back. We 100%.
If it is, it makes my vote for Biden tougher, for sure. Joe Exotic is a big part of my quarantine, and that the glee he brought me lasted, a solid 45 minutes. We gotta give him credit where it's due.
It's gonna be somebody from his cabinet or something that was like, who's the one that got so fucked? He said. There was one guy he said got really missed. Not Roger Stone, obviously. There was another guy before him. Was it Flynn? I bet you it's Michael Flynn. If I'm again, the names all blend together for me.
I think it's going to be C. Murda, and it's going to be thanks to Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I hope it is C. Murder. And Monica. Monica's been working hard on it, too. Don't forget.
Oh, I forgot. The boy is mine.
Yes. 90s R&B star Monica has also been working very hard on this.
Who was married? The only reason I know she's still around is because she used to be married to former NBA player Shannon Brown.
Hey.
Yeah.
And who knew that there was a boy with the name Shannon? That's interesting to me.
I know.
Oh, it isn't Flynn. Sorry, Travis is saying it's not Flynn. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I read, too.
Not Flynn. Okay.
Huh. Not Flynn. It's not Snowden.
It's one of those guys, though, from his... It's not going to be Joe Exotic. It's going to be somebody from his cabinet or somebody that was like that got fucked.
How many people
early
in
on.
his cabinet are in jail?
What's that?
How many people from his cabinet are in jail?
I don't know. Or somebody who is in the administration, I should say. I'm not sure how many have been convicted of anything. I don't know.
That'd be cool if he just gave kind of an informal pardon, like to somebody he had beef with a little while ago, like just personal social beef. And he's like, listen, I just wanted to make it known that we're cool at this point. And
or if maybe he's just doing something shitty, like he's like, oh, I just read about Jam Master Jay, so I'm pardoning his murderers.
Yeah.
You just like after 18 years, you found his murderers. I've decided to pardon them. What are you gonna do now?
So is that what they're insinuating, that Jam Master Jay was a part of a drug ring?
Oh, he was.
That's not
he
insinuating.
Was. Okay.
They're saying
okay. Because I haven't read anything about
cocaine.
it. I just saw a drug ring and these guys were involved, and that's where my brain put two and two together.
I wonder if he's gonna. I wonder if he's gonna put somebody who is wrongfully jailed, somebody who was put away for many, many years for like pot, like one of those things where.
Did you guys hear sound?
I'm having some technical issues.
Technical issues with your equipment, or
yes,
with your electronic equipment,
your butthole equipment.
Yes, we both correct. I wonder if it's going to be somebody like that, somebody who's been in prison for a long time for selling. Because there was that one guy in I think Louisiana, they wouldn't hear the case where he's in prison for like life because he was stealing a fucking Clippers. Like it was like a 3 strikes law thing. I wonder if it's going to be somebody for something like that, or if it's a person we all know.
What if he's just holding the heads of the officers who killed Breonna Taylor? Like he just makes a complete swing. Yeah. He's like, listen, this is me.
Yeah, I mean, he said it's a very important person, but you're right, Jim. That could easily just mean somebody that's important to him.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like somebody black who was falsely imprisoned, like, you know what I mean? Because he knows that when it comes to now that there's Kamala Harris is now on board and they want to get black people voting. Obviously, they fight over black votes.
his petty tweet this morning. Because I told you Michelle Obama gave that speech last night, and everybody is going nuts for it. Everybody's fawning all over it. Our president tweeted out, "Somebody please explain to @Michelle Obama that Donald J. Trump would not be here in the beautiful White House if it weren't for the job done by your husband, Barack Obama. Biden was merely an afterthought. A good reason for that very late and unenthusiastic endorsement."
Very late and unenthusiastic. He's not wrong.
I mean, he is a killer roast battle, or rap battle. Like, he just knows exactly what note to hit. It's incredible.
Very late and unenthusiastic.
I'm shocked he didn't tweet out Big Mike or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a big conspiracy when I was doing Rabbit Hole, is my co-host would constantly call her a trans person. And I was like, oh no, sweetie, that's just your racism. That it really has nothing to do with facts.
Not conspiracy.
Who would call it? Because Joan Rivers got in trouble for saying that, and it was a hilarious fucking joke. But
if you can make a bit, I have no problem with bits of any flavor going at anybody. Yeah. But it was a real conspiracy where he's like, Barack is gay, Michelle's a guy. All right.
Right. Yeah. No, and he was presenting it as this is what they don't want you to hear.
Right. It's the demasculation of men in America. It's a subtle note that they're hitting over and over again to lower our testosterone so we can start tucking it back.
But wouldn't somebody have noticed? Wouldn't somebody in the medical know? Say, no, yeah, you're right. It didn't.
Maybe all those ankle injuries from basketball that Barack was faking were purely anal sex mishaps.
Yeah, they do happen. Yeah, they do.
Could be.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, there was that one guy. Remember Obama, that guy? I think his name was Larry, if I'm remembering. He was a guy who said he blew Obama in the limo, and they did coke together, and everybody thought he was so crazy. And I think he's dead, that guy. I think he passed away. But that was a big thing years ago, 2010 or whatever, where he was like, yes, he claimed to have sucked Obama's dick, which didn't sound very believable.
It didn't have a lot of
it wasn't a very credible story.
No, it was not.
If they were doing coke, though, he definitely, I don't know if he sucked his dick to completion, but he probably put forth quite an effort. He probably tried to, pull the turnip out of the ground, but I'm sure it wasn't successful.
It really is like trying to get Silly String to stand up. You fucking your dick on coke.
Oh man! So we haven't talked to you since our Rad reunion.
I know.
How was the come down after that? I know that was
it was swift. It was a swift come down. Even Travis, when he's like, "Hey, want to come on the show?" It's not going to be as cool as when we reunited and surprised you with the Rad. And I was like, "Listen, nobody, including my son, is going to ever live up to that moment. So it doesn't matter. That's not where my expectations are set. They've since been lowered substantially. I mean, that was incredible at the time of my life. I've gotten so many DMs from your listeners who have been looking for a voice for the BMX community, which is awesome. Now I'm apparently that asshole, which is, hey, I'll take it. I built jumps out of rotted wood when I was a kid. I was never skilled whatsoever, but boy, do I love it. And I'll continue to hold the torch for Rad.
Yeah, that was the one moment when I was like, I finally saw you break away from the broken comedian that you've become. And when I was like, yeah, the Rad people are coming, and you're like, no shit. And it was like this moment of pure bliss and joy and the way things should be.
Yeah, I felt like the chick at the end of Ghostbusters breaking through, charred Zool or whatever. I felt like I was completely anew.
But then it was back to reality after that.
Yeah.
It was back to reality real quick. I've done shows, and I did that Soul Joe, the one where Jay got pulled off of the stage. I did that that place, which is such a great setup. And I actually went to a skate park to ride my bike before that. So this is now how I'm gonna do the road, Jim. I'm bringing my BMX bike with me when I can drive, and I'm going. I went to a skate park in Radnor, Pennsylvania, which is
awesome.
Fun. And I went there, and there's 9 little kids, and I immediately get sent back to fucking 4th grade. My heart starts fluttering. I'm like nervous to be around these children and try things. And then of course, I go off some jumps. I drop in, and these kids are like, "Mister, you're amazing." And I'm like, this is exactly how I need to go into every show feeling.
I like that you're now the white-haired dad at the skate park.
Yeah.
I had pink hair though, so they probably thought I was a little younger at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And cool.
But dude, that very night, I was on stage at Joel's, and I had I got through my 12-15 of news that I've been writing since quarantine. Then I got through some of the stuff that I had developed right after the special, and I got through that, and I was on stage, and I had just a wild existential moment of like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I here? My next show isn't for 2 weeks. What's the point of this? Am I even a comic? Is this an industry? What's happening? These people are so disgusting. It was just like all constantly rotating in my head, and it went well, and then I just got off stage, but it was a weird moment.
How weird did it feel? I mean, I guess that you've done a few shows, because I haven't done any. How does it feel to do the first one when you haven't been on stage in months?
I mean, it's like first time nerves. Like, it felt like that type of shake where I had tools now to stifle the anxiety and, make it seem like I knew what I was talking about. But, it feels like so new, and you feel out of your body a little bit. And I was trying to both remember and be in the moment and enjoy what was happening, and also, navigate some new horse shit that I was talking about.
Right.
It's just, it's kind of like trippy. It feels psychedelic. Like it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Have you been struggling? Because I've noticed, I feel like you're in this space right now where you know that you have every right to capitalize on the destruction of Ellen DeGeneres throughout this quarantine. Because really, I mean, at the beginning of quarantine, you decided it was time to make parody Ellen videos where you make her look like a monster.
I'm the white
and
Hannibal.
Then
wow.
Yes. And then
and Cosby.
And then and then all of a sudden she becomes a monster.
Mm.
You're like, guys, did you not? I told you this already.
Yeah.
We knew this. This was happening. Do you feel like you're trying to figure out, like, okay, how do I let the world know that I was ahead of the curve on this?
I'm just resigned to the fact that nothing I ever do will be timely. It's always going to be a little before it's cool, and then people will wash over it and will build on on what I've done. The conspiracy podcast, that was ahead of its time. We were talking fake news. We were talking all the shit that's currently in the world that, I have friends from my hometown that were trashing the fact that we were talking about conspiracy, 9/11, all this stuff, that are now sharing QAnon conspiracy like it's like without even realizing it. Like, they're like, I mean, and this is who Jeffrey Epstein paid for, and Jeffrey, there's 2 people on the list. Tom Hanks sucked off a kid on the set of A League of Their Own. It's like, it's so ridiculous. And even the Frank Rigatone, dude, Frank Rigatone character that I do about the gym, he opens a gym and he's liberating it from, Governor Cuomo. There's now countless people in New Jersey that are literally living out that character. And and I did it beforehand. So I'm an oracle and a broke one.
Well,
it's got to feel good to
find a way to monetize
know,
these things.
Yeah, creatively and mentally, you are there. Like, you are in touch and you are good at this. It's just, unfortunately, you lack the skill of getting eyes and ears on the product, which is a huge part of the business.
Apparently, it's quite big. I need somebody. If anybody's out there and knows SEO and YouTube and wants to start making me thumbnails and shit, I'll pay you. Let's do it. But I mean, it's all. There's so much to know right now for comedy because, obviously I'm working out of my home. I'm putting out stuff every single week. So my output and creativity, like you said, is not halting. It's not stopping. But now to actually get eyes, I have to have like technical know-how, which I don't. I just try to follow what some of my friends who are a little smarter than me are doing. And, that it's been moderately successful, but it's also difficult to get that big push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is amazing what you're saying about the conspiracy theory stuff, because you're right. Like, it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It was, you're like, what? Like, you're into that conspiracy stuff? Literally yesterday, we had the President of the United States' son on the show, who basically implied that, yeah, there's something fishy about that Wayfair thing. Like, it's
Which one? Gums McGillicuddy or the other one, or Don Jr.?
No, we got
Don Jr.
the cute one. We got the cute one.
You didn't get the fetal alcohol Twilight vampire?
No, we didn't get Danny DeVito in Twins. We got Arnold. But yeah,
I mean, there's money now in stoking it, though, right?
Yes,
that's the thing, and that's probably also my problem. Is when I was doing conspiracy, I wanted so much of my opinion to be known, to cover myself, basically, that I probably wasn't playing the game correctly. Where I should have at least let people think that I believed Sandy Hook was fake, just so they were intrigued enough to trash me. I got
without ever actually saying it.
Exactly. I took controversial stances, like thinking the Earth was round, and was certainly slaughtered for that. But nobody gives a shit about that.
Look, here's the problem: that you're over there being the straight guy on a conspiracy podcast, going the Earth is round. Meanwhile, the president of the United States is going, Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well. And you're like, well, clearly I was on the wrong side of the argument. Clearly the conspiracy side was the side to be on, because everything's gone topsy-turvy.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be a fundamental flaw in who I am as a person that doesn't allow me to say things I don't mean. You know what I mean? Or at least
tough.
In the moment.
Yeah, no, that's tough.
And granted, I say
tough.
a lot of things that later I look back on and I'm like, well, that was awful and that was stupid and whatever. But I definitely meant it in the moment.
Right.
Even though I love Mike, but I don't like that he's saying, guys, I mean, my fatal flaw, I'm too honest.
He does.
Guys, you know me, I just can't stop with the truth.
Mike Cannon, he really sounds like someone in a job interview describing his biggest flaw. Sometimes I don't know when to turn it off. I work too hard is the problem.
That was very Michael Scott in an interview.
Yeah, I can't stop with the truth. I mean, it just keeps falling out of my mouth. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I wish I could be disingenuous. I just don't. It doesn't come naturally to me. I don't have it in me. All I can give is
Mike, let me take this opportunity to tell you to shut up. Let me.
It's totally reasonable, and actually, I'm going to take the advice.
Well, why did by the way, we still never got your old partner on. I guess there's no reason we haven't gotten him on. I still would love to talk to him. The guy who's very into conspiracies.
Yeah.
Because the funny part about talking to conspiracy guys is they're always pretty bright. Like, very rarely do you find a conspiracy guy and go, he's dumb. Mm-hmm. They're usually really smart, which is how they get so tangled up in, it's like watching someone get tangled up in a tuna net. Like, the mind is so that they're able to go down so many rabbit holes and places and hit a wall and then back up a little bit, but not back up far enough, and then make another left. And by the time you're finished, they're trapped down in this place. It's kind of hard to be reasonable, but they're always pretty bright guys.
It's smart people that I believe are acting out of emotional preservation. So, I think I've said this on the show before, but it bears repeating because it's super true. Every person that we interviewed on that show had a wild personal trauma that they experienced that sent them on the path of conspiracy. So it was like, we had guys who their son died of cancer, and then immediately they got super into vaccines and how the cancer treatment is fucked up. And there's a lot to pick off the bone with that, because the medical community is not, without its corruption and bullshit, and they are pushing a lot of stuff down your face for monetary gain. So that stuff can kind of send you tumbling down the hole, and without a full scope of what's going on and who has actually benefited from certain medicines, it's tough to remain objective.
We've had a lot of Bob Lazar arguments on the show. When you were deep into conspiracy world, when you were at the height of, and just thinking, because even if you didn't believe a lot of it, just doing the podcast once a week, it's kind of omnipresent in your life, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're the type who would look at a conspiracy theory, and then if one thing doesn't quite add up, you'd go, oh, wait, and then start seeing everything crumble down? or are you good at looking past it? Because like the Bob Lazar thing, that's where everything gets cut off. There are people that will either go, well, the school thing makes no sense, and if he's lying about that, then he's probably lying about this, and I can't believe him about that, and everything starts to fall apart. Or the defenders just totally ignore it. I don't know about the school thing, and they completely move past it. So which were you?
Basically, are you an idiot or not? Is what Sam is saying.
Okay. I was trying to be nice about it, but yeah, I mean, Troy is listening, but go ahead.
I think I'm one of those people that needs more than one thing. Like I find the inconsistencies interesting, and then I look for more. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what else lines up? Because there's a lot of incompetence to consider in all of these things. People are just fucking inept, so it's not all of these things are perfectly orchestrated and choreographed events. It's like those are really difficult to pull off. It takes a movie, a bunch of cuts, or a bunch of takes just to get a single scene right. So it's like you're going to do these big ass conspiracy, like the Boston Marathon. You somehow nailed a fake bombing on the street in one take, and like had all these special effects of a guy holding a fucking, holding a vein up so a dude's leg could be saved. And it's like all of these things were one take.
That's a great point. One take. It's funny. As much as I've thought of the nonsense of it, like that's how it's impossible. It's too much you phrased it well. It's how did you do all that in one take?
Right.
Like literally, how is there never a lighting issue? How is there never a sound issue? Or how is there never a guy going, oh my God, the bomb? And like, it didn't happen yet. Cut, redo it. He didn't get it right.
Right. But that's where they'll be like, well, they do fuck that up and you're not looking because the blood on the sidewalk of the Boston bombing was clearly faked and it's different at this angle than it was at this, not understanding how light works. And it's like, and then there's CGI and this person's gay. And it's like, all right, the one thing that I can't argue against because some of it is like pretty compelling and I